Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Shudder Slaughterhouse. I'm Daniel, and yeah, I got another week of just little mini reviews of everything I watched on Shudder this past week. Sorry, getting a little tongue-tied. So let's get into it. The first thing we're going to talk about is a movie called Spiral. They've been really kind of promoting this hardcore over on Shudder. It's a Shudder original, and of course this is one of those featured films they put on the little front when you first log on to Shudder. Spiral came out this year, and it's about a gay couple who move into this neighborhood, and they have their daughter, and just trying to fit into the neighborhood, and they go to this neighborhood party. However, after this party, it seems like things kind of take a weird, wicked left turn. This movie, not necessarily with, I guess, the nature of it, but I guess more of just the vibes I got from it, or the feelings that I felt when I watched it. It reminds me a lot of Get Out, in the sense that, in Get Out, it's a young African-American man who has, kind of has to run with this, well-off white family who pretend to be nice, but they have some sinister ulterior motives. And here it's the same thing. Except instead of, well, I guess the main guy is African American as well, but they're also homosexuals as well. And of course, it's this kind of white family at the forefront of it all, with some sinister ulterior motives. And so it really did kind of give off these Get Out vibes. However, this movie definitely gets more psychological, a lot more bending of reality, I guess, or kind of that fabric between reality and dream. Just whatever. Yes, this movie, it actually kind of, with him kind of flipping out, speaking of flipping out, what the hell's going on over here? But it's also had like a bit of like Jacob's Ladder thrown in, just kind of how he's constantly kind of going in between, This is, pretty good movie. I dug the social commentary they threw in there. I think the performances are really good. And my complaint is an odd complaint, but it is a complaint nonetheless. I like the way it plays out, and I like the ending. It just feels like it ended way too quickly. Like, we're building it up. It's a slow burn, and it's very satisfying. And then it just seems like once we get to the third act, it's like they're just trying to race to the credits. Like, let's just hurry up and get there. I don't know. It just felt like it was super rushed at the end, and I felt like you could have let that breathe just a little bit longer. Shudder, they have or the people of Shudder voted, they have it at 4 out of 5 skulls. I'll give it 3 out of 5. Like I said, I think the story's really good. I like, where it goes. It even has, I don't know the dude's name. He's the cop from Freddy vs. Jason. He also played the guy with the baby penis in a Scary Movie. I'm blanking on this dude's name. He does a lot of comedies, but, he's in Freddy vs. Jason, but it seems like he's in Wayne's stuff quite a bit. Like, I think he was in Little Man. I think I remember reading he was like in Dance Flick. I stopped with Wayne's Brothers after a while. But anyways, besides the point, it's cool to see him back in this. So like I said, I enjoy it, but I don't know, I felt like it could have went a little bit longer. That's what's kind of, curbing. But, still, middle of the road, 3 out of 5 skulls, not bad, for me. So up next, and this is probably my pick of the week, it's an Indonesian film. Came out back in 2017, I believe. Satan's Slaves. The basic premise here is it's a family, and their mother has been battling this illness for a while now, and she finally dies, but she doesn't quite go away, if you know what I mean. So this movie is funny because I have a film. It's this old Indonesian film called Satan's Slaves. And I was like, that's kind of a coincidence, but turns out, no, this is actually a remake of that film. They said it's a remake. Now I'm hearing they're wanting to make like this because it takes place before that one, so they're wanting to tie them all together. I don't know, but I guess they're wanting to do like a kind of like a trilogy of films, including that old film from the I think it's like late 70s, early 80s. But anyways, besides all that, this movie I really dug. Now this is also a Shudder original. This is presented in both subtitles and dub. My girlfriend just refuses to read the subtitles, so we had to watch the dub. However, the dubbing here ain't so bad. Like that, I forgot what the movie was we talked about last week that had the dubbing, and the dubbing was just so atrocious. But this one wasn't too bad, actually. No, so Satan's Slaves. This one you can just now, I won't lie, and this may turn some people off. They're gonna watch it and be like, wow, this scene looks like it's ripped out of like Insidious, or hey, this looks like it got ripped off of, The Conjuring, or The Grudge, or whatever. And I think it's probably true. I think the director of this movie probably was influenced quite a bit by other horror films, and he used them to his advantage because even though yes, there's a lot of cliched scenes in here, he knows how to use them. He knows how to, he has the playbook of horror out. He's literally like, all right, let's do it. And he's going through the list. But you know what? He's doing it effectively. A lot of legit jump scares here. And it didn't feel cheap at all. Like, it really felt like, holy shit, wasn't expecting that. And it didn't feel like they were just, I don't know. I can't explain. They definitely kept the atmosphere there, and not every jump scare was accompanied by a ridiculous loud noise. I mean, it really was, well, kind of evened out there. The movie itself, there are certain things that kind of left me scratching my head, and I don't know if that's a cultural thing or what, but either way, I just like, whatever, we'll just kind of roll with it. But by the time the credits roll, I was giving this a huge fucking thumbs up. I really dug it. I was thinking it was people Shudder, they gave it a 4 out of 5 skulls, and I'm gonna keep that 4 out of 5. I almost gave it 5. A perfect thing, but I'm like, nah, that's reserved for classics. Like, that's reserved for the perfect films. And this is near perfect. I do want to eventually pick this up later down the road, because I think this is one of those movies I could probably watch again and again. And who knows, maybe in time, this could be a 5 out of 5 skulls for me. But right now, I'll say 4 out of 5, so I'll agree with everybody on this one. Yeah, it's my pick of the week. I highly recommend it. And for those of you who don't like to read, I ain't gonna read my movies. Well, guess what? They got the dub for you, so you can dub it up. So there you go. Up next, we got Z, another Shudder original. We got hitting a lot. I unintentionally hitting Shudder originals this week, but Z. This came out earlier in the year, I think, or yeah, I think it was earlier this year. The basic storyline is it's a married couple and a kid, an 8-year-old kid, and he has an imaginary friend who starts terrorizing everybody. Yeah, I don't. This movie started out all right. It was very typical, but then by the end, I swear, and I don't want to give anything away. I'm doing my best not to spoil in these reviews. I really want you guys to check these movies out. It felt like I was watching a supernatural Lifetime of the Week movie. About midway through, there's a bit of a revelation. I don't want to call it a straight up plot twist or big twist, but it unfolds. But then it just kind of goes in this different direction. And I mean, I got to give out one scene without spoiling anything else. There's a scene where like a woman is on the phone and she's talking like, I can't be on the phone long, but I just want to let you know I'm okay. And it's just like she don't want the demon ghost to hear her, even though I'm sure the demon ghost can go through the walls. I don't know. I don't know the rules of the demon ghost. Of Z, the title of this guy. But I feel like I was honestly watching a Lifetime movie about an abusive relationship. And maybe that's the point they're going for. I don't know. But, I don't know. Like I said, there's decent acting. The girl, the main girl in it, I knew the whole movie, she is driving me nuts. She looked so familiar. And she was the girl from Final Destination 2. She was like the bitchy businesswoman who, she's stuck in the van. When the airbag goes off, it like pops her face right into the back of a pipe and kills her. That girl. She's the main character here. The acting was good, and like I said, the story is promising. I mean, once again, it's not breaking any new ground, but it's like, yeah, okay, kid has a imaginary friend who's now causing trouble. Sure, I'm in. It just seems like by the end of it, I just don't. And then the ending was just like, really, who gives a shit? I don't know. I wasn't huge on this. People of Shudder gave this a 4 out of 5 skulls, and I'm dropping it down to a 2. I'm sorry, a low 2 at that. I will rarely give out 1 skulls. I feel like 1 skulls is like, I hate this movie. And I rarely hate films. And if I do, they're rarely horror films. And I feel like I will probably never see a 1 skull movie here on Shudder. But with that being said, this is definitely like a 2 skull for me. I couldn't get into it. I didn't care. And it seems like, I don't know, there's just certain scenes where like certain characters will die. And I'm not giving anything away. I won't say character names or who they are. But like, certain characters will die. And this seems like they go right to the next scene. I'm like, don't the police have any questions about this person's death? Or I don't know. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is. Aside from that, I don't know. I felt like, I know for low budget you gotta kind of withhold the imaginary character. You can't just go, but it's like the few times they did show him was quick glimpses. Wasn't a big deal. But there's one scene they show him where it does look like it's a bit CGI, like he comes out of the wall. But I don't want to say too much. But anyways, I don't know. I wasn't big on that either. So I don't know. I wasn't super huge on Z. But yeah, so that's Z. And the final movie I watched, a movie called Demon. 2015, I believe, Polish film. I'm going to butcher this name, and I apologize in advance. I don't want to come off sounding insensitive or anything like that. It's based on a Jewish legend of the Dybbuk. Am I saying that right? The Dybbuk? And it's a guy who, on his wedding day, he is being haunted by this spirit. So, this movie started off really good. And it was head-scratching right from the beginning. Like, there's a certain thing that happened, I'd be like, well, what the fuck? Like, why are we acting this way? Or why aren't we doing something here? And I didn't know if it was going to be one of these, like, the whole movie's a metaphor. It's all, you know. But, I'm in. I'm checking it out. And, like I said, about midway through, it's really good. I couldn't tell you what most is going on. I mean, it's pretty linear at this point. And all the scenes are well connected, and everything's sort of making sense. But I don't, you know, but I mean, you don't know what's going on in the sense like, you know, you're following the plot. You know, what's going to happen next? I don't know. And then it seems like about midway through, it just kind of goes out the fucking window, where we just start having scenes kind of pop up with no explanation, and they just move on to the next scene, and then they go to the next, and it just keeps happening. And then there's a certain scenes where you're just like, wait, what the hell? And then there's no real resolution. And like I said, I can't give details without spoiling anything, so I just won't. But by the end of the movie, I just remember, because, you know, we watch a lot of, like, you know, psychological, mind-bending movies and stuff, and typically my girlfriend's like, well, I don't know what that means. What, you know, what was that? And I'm usually like, oh, here's what that meant here, or this is a metaphor for this. But this is the one time I looked at her, I'm like, don't even ask. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, I am just as lost as you are here. And when I looked it up, you know, once again, it's based on this Jewish myth, and I was like, well, that's probably a lot of it right there, because I don't know what a Dybbuk is or know the story. And I feel like, excuse me, let me get a little sip here. And I just feel like if I was of the Jewish faith or from Poland, maybe, I don't know. I feel like I'm just a chunky guy from Bedford, Indiana. I don't know any of this stuff. Like, this movie went completely over my head. I'm going to give it, because it was given 3 out of 5 skulls by the Shudder public. I'm going to give it 2 out of 5, but I will say I liked it better than Z. Because I really just genuinely just did not like Z, and I I completely understood it, just didn't like it. This movie, I didn't understand it, but I can't deny that I wasn't like kind of pulled into it. Like, I was on the edge of my seat watching this thing, wondering. And once again, I mean, I don't want to say on the edge of my seat like it's like, you know, exciting and fast paced. No, I mean, it's a slow burn. It's a drama. It really is more of a supernatural drama than a horror film, I guess I should say. But I was captivated by it. I was, you know, all right, what's going to happen next? And like I said, a lot of stuff that was just like, what? Like, I don't know. I just felt like at the end, I was just kind of like, and I mean, it can be a good thing sometimes. I know, like, you know, you watch like a David Lynch film, you could be like, at the end of that, you're like, what the fuck was that? I don't know, but I liked it. And that's kind of what I feel like here, but I feel like when we leave with David Lynch, I can give a pretty good guess and kind of land it. Like, maybe if I'm wrong, I can feel confident in myself, like, well, I may be wrong, but that's what it felt like to me. Whereas this one, I don't know. Like, even a guess, I'm just going to be like, ugh. But either way, you know, 2 out of 5, but it's a higher 2 than the lower 2 I gave Z, so there you go. So there it is. Those are the 4 films I watched this past week. Guys, if you have seen any of these, drop them down below. Let me know, you know, if you saw them, if you liked them, if you didn't like them. You know, if you did like them, you know, let me know what you liked about them. You know, especially the ones I disagree with. Like, I mean, you know, if I really like, you know, like Satan's Slave I loved, you know, I don't need everybody going, I loved it too. And here's what, you know, I know why it's good. If you don't like it, that's what I want to hear. I want to hear, like, the people who disagree with me, why they disagree. You know, I'm all for it. So let me know in the comment section down below. Guys, that's all I got. Thank you so much for joining me this week, and we'll see you next time. Oh, shit. Didn't always run, sorry. Hi. Thank you for watching that video. Be sure to give us a thumbs up, share it, subscribe to our channel. All that good stuff you do right here on YouTube, go ahead and do it. Check out our other videos. Go to our playlist. We got episodes of TPS TV, Journey Through the Dark Side. We got a new show coming out, the horror movie review with Daniel Richardson. This guy. And of course, our short film, Entropy. You can find all that and more right here on YouTube. And then check out, yeah, look at that. All of our social media right there. And we don't just, you know, copy and paste like the same post and put it on all. No, that's ridiculous. 3 different platforms, 3 different posts. I mean, the behind the scenes stuff you see on Twitter will not be the same stuff you see on Instagram. So there you go, right there. So be sure to get on, give us a follow and a like on all that right there. Keep up to date. Have you seen Unspeakable Acts yet? No? Come on. Pick you up the DVD right now. Links over there. Oh, yeah. It's only $7. $3 shipping and handling. And of course, if you've already seen it and you haven't seen the public domain dungeon yet, boom, $5 DVD right there. So 5 S&P as well. Or sorry, 3 S&P as well. So there you go. Do that. And if you got the spare change, you want to hit us up, donate a little bit over at TPS Productions. Our Patreon is right there. Oh, yeah. So that's all we... Oh, my God. Sorry. I'm getting fired, ain't I? Guys, that's all we got. Thank you for watching.